as an ex-Mormon, sometimes I just like hear Mormon things or just like think about things that I used to hear all the time, and it just makes me laugh. And this is one of them. There's this saying that goes, and it's just like, it's so sassy, and I don't know why it's so sassy, but it's, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
It is so sassy.
Hey, it's Alec. So just a heads up about this episode. When we started recording, we realized that we didn't have enough microphones, so Morgan used his Zoom field recorder, and it turns out that that isn't always the best at preventing plosives and other sort of whooshy sounds. So I tried cleaning it up. I did my best, but there's still a little bit of wonkiness throughout it. So if you're listening to it, then that's on you at this point. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should get better taste in podcasts. Anyways, enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Bumpy Soup Podcast, the most rootin' tootin' skeet shootin' bumpy soup and banjo kazoo and galder and hullabalooza podcast. I am Alec. I'm here today with Emily.
Yoo-hoo!
Aqua Supreme.
Bump it up!
Morgan.
Hey.
And our very special guest, Ryder.
Yo, 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 yo!
Hello, Ryder.
What's up, guys?
Ryder, it's so good to have you on, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. Ryder is a good friend. He is an artist from around here. Works in a few different mediums, but a lot of pottery, or well, I don't know, pottery, is that the right word? Ceramics?
Ceramics, yeah. Less pots, more sculptures.
Mm-hmm.
I do some mugs.
Nice.
Some fucking dope shit.
Yeah, how would you describe your style?
Spooky, kind of.
Okay, that I was gonna say that. That's the number one thing for me. I open up my Instagram and I see just like the scariest face looking back at me. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's
Spooky.
either like sweet little guys or spooky, scary demons.
Or sometimes a little bit of both.
Yeah,
A little bit of both.
Sweet little spooky scary demons.
Tell me
Yeah.
about the sweet little guys.
Sweet little guys. Oh, I don't know. They're just cute little crying guys mostly.
Feel that.
Are those the two moods? You got crying,
crying and
spooky,
evil.
Yeah, evil, the devil.
Is it wet or creepy?
Yeah. Is it sad or spooky? Yeah. Well, Ryder, thank you so much for being on. We're happy to have you here.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Yeah. So how's everyone been doing?
Good. While we were sitting down, while we were shuffling in here, I kind of stepped on Morgan's Achilles, and I keep on thinking about that. I'm really scared. Is your Achilles okay?
My Achilles was always okay.
All right. Sorry, I just keep on thinking about
Strong
that.
tendons.
Thank you for, yeah.
You'll be
Strong
hearing from
tendons.
his
Not
lawyer.
my weak spot.
Yeah, do you do a lot of like Achilles workouts where you're just like stretching your leg? Like,
No one's
Right.
gonna
I
get me here.
skateboard.
Yeah, I'm a skateboarder. That's his whole thing.
really fast.
You can't knock me down. I skate.
Yeah. I had a biology teacher that used to play basketball, and she tore her Achilles, and that's like fucking gnarly. It, like rips up your leg and
Fucking
shit.
disgusting.
So,
When I was,
We don't like it.
this is my senior year of high school, my theater teacher, we were all like, we had these chairs set up, and we were like jumping onto them, and like, you know, there was like 4 or 5 chairs stacked on top of each other, and we'd jump and try to sit on them. And our teacher is like, oh yeah, I used to play basketball in high school, I can totally do this. And he goes and he jumps,
No.
and all of a sudden stops and like looks behind him and is like, what just happened? Snapped his Achilles. Oh my just fuck, it has to get surgery. It was the same week that Kobe did it. So yeah. Anyways,
That's weird.
Wow.
yeah. He said he thought someone hit him because it just like it felt like he just got hit here and it just
The
snapped.
same week that Kobe did it, so did Kobe do it first?
I think Kobe did it like the day after.
I'm
or something
picturing
like that.
someone with a voodoo doll who's like, snap your Achilles. Oh, wrong guy.
Kobe.
Snap your Achilles.
It was the wrong hair that
Kobe,
they
damn it.
picked from the
yeah.
Yeah.
wherever grocery
My theater
store.
teacher and Kobe were in the same area. Also, Kobe's bald. That's even funnier.
Yeah.
I was imagining that like Kobe's like, wait, that guy ripped his Achilles? I'm gonna rip my Achilles now. Like,
You can't one up me.
I'm Kobe.
That's good press.
I used to play basketball.
Yeah. Did your theater teacher get into a helicopter accident?
Oh shit.
This is a good joke.
I don't know. Is that
Rip
too
Kobe,
soon?
we love him.
I think it's fine.
He got
I
in
think it's
a
all right.
he got in a helicopter crash the day before Kobe.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Kobe's like
Yeah,
this guy
actually, he was a
too.
helicopter pilot. It's funny. Huh?
Yeah.
Ugh. Harsh.
Oh my god, yeah, they died at the same time he was piloting the
It was-
helicopter.
I I knew someone who died in a helicopter crash, actually. No one like super personal to me, but he was my home teacher growing up.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
That's wild.
I might need to fact check this with my mom, but I think he worked for like a logging company. I'm like, that doesn't feel safe to be lifting logs. Yeah, but that's what I picture when I hear logging company helicopter pilot.
I don't
Maybe
think
he was like
helicopters are safe.
transporting people
No.
to the site or something.
Yeah.
I guess
don't
it
know.
depends who's piloting. Like if I was piloting a helicopter, that's not safe.
Just
Yeah.
the physics of a helicopter just don't seem safe.
No,
in
it definitely
general. It's like
doesn't.
this thing's spinning.
It's too
That thing's
wonky.
spinning
Yeah.
a different way. It's like a big
It's
bug in the
suspicious.
sky. Like that's not us.
Yeah, helicopters don't even seem like they should work.
No.
Right.
That's some fucking
It's
magic.
like a bee. Like how do they fly?
Yeah.
When was the helicopter
Magnets.
invented?
Helicopter experts, go ahead and jump in the comments. Let us know.
You mean to tell me, Alec, that you're not like obsessed with helicopters?
I am not. I like trains.
That's not your
Trains.
Yeah. Trains. I don't know when trains were invented though.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been nuts if I did. I could have just said like 1864 and you'd been like, oh.
All right. A helicopter is a type of rotorcraft. I know.
Just like a bee.
In 1942, the Sikorsky R-4 became the first helicopter to reach full-scale production. But who?
1940
When did they go back to the
1964?
future?
1942.
1942.
So like the end of World War II is when they finally like, started going to full production. Thanks, Hitler.
Earliest references for vertical flight came from China.
Really?
Yep.
Mm.
And then Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Gunpowder.
Yeah. Nice future reference. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not subconsciously grooming you for a trivia night, I promise.
Yeah. Well, shout out to helicopter pilots everywhere.
Yeah, rip.
You're the real ones.
Yeah. I wanted to be a pilot when I was younger.
What
Same.
stopped you?
I guess I didn't think that it was actually a thing that a person could do. You know?
Yeah,
It's like a
You could just go
superhero
do
thing.
that right
Yeah,
now.
it's like one of what real professionals do, and I was like, well, I'm just.
So
a
it wasn't
guy.
like in Little Miss Sunshine where you found out that you had
no
bad vision
colorblindness.
or colorblind. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
No, I've got good vision, and I'm pretty sure I'm not colorblind.
You don't know.
Not even the small colorblind.
When I was a kid, it was like 5th grade. I'm like, or like I was 6th grade. I'm thinking I could be a pilot. Like this sounds like a great career path to me. You know, the whole career like centers they had in school and everything. I was like, yo, this sounds awesome, but I'm colorblind.
Oh,
It just hit me like that was like legitimately my path at a certain point. I'm like, I want to fly a plane.
What the fuck?
And
That sucks.
I can't do that commercially.
damn.
That's exactly
Hang on.
what happened in Little Miss
Yeah,
Sunshine.
Little
You're
Miss
colorblind?
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Did you go out into a field and scream?
I'm very colorblind. No, I didn't.
Found it on a road
always
trip.
Screaming deep down inside.
Morgan, are you little Mr. Sunshine?
Mr. Sunshine.
Little Mr.
Big Mr. Sunshine.
Big Mr.
Big Mr. Sunshine. Morgan, what kind of colorblind are you?
I don't know what it's called, but red, green.
Red, green. I think
yeah.
it's yeah.
Check it out. If you like spew a bunch of colored pencils on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
the red, the green, and the brown all look the same color.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, red, green, and brown. Red and green look brown to me. If you see a rainbow in the sky, all I can see is yellow. I can only
Really?
see yellow in rainbows. All I see is a streak of yellow. Yeah, there's no other color there. It's weird.
It's crazy.
Fuck.
Wow.
I know,
He
right?
could have never watched Red Green's show.
No. brown.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on here?
I'm just imagining someone with like red like colorblindness and synesthesia, so everything tastes yellow.
That doesn't sound good.
No, that.
no.
But if it's
no.
your whole experience, then that's all you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's the difference?
None the
Brown is
wiser.
brown. I mean, brown's dope.
Brown's dope. You heard it here first. And that's the Bumpy Soup policy.
Brown
I've
is
been
dope.
doing that Instagram influencer thing, changing out all the spice bottles in our spice cabinet with like bottles that look the same and putting labels on them.
Yeah.
But brown is a cool color. Like it was really fun to do that because like there's just a ton of different shades and textures and some greens in there.
Yeah, it looks really
Brown
good.
is one of my favorite colors to wear, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's maybe it's actually a red pair of pants. But they're brown, but I love my brown pants.
Dude, that's like definitely the best joke we've ever had on this podcast.
Morgan, what does the color of this room look like?
This looks like Sandstorm by Darude.
That's actually that's the exact color name. Pantone named it Sandstorm by Darude.
By Darude.
That is what this color would be called.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I can differentiate most colors, and I can see plants and I see the green, but if you put a bunch of red next to it, it's all just my brain gets confused. It's just all just gonna look brown. Like it's the two being next to each other.
So it's not like it gets dull. Like it's not just like a dull color. It's like, or maybe is it that it gets dull so it looks brown?
The more dynamic, like red and green. If there's a bunch of red and green next to each other, that's what becomes dull.
Okay.
Right. If there's like a red tree and a green tree, I could see it. But if there's a bunch of them mixed together, it just my brain just trips up and like it just looks brown. Like it's weird. I don't know. I
can't even imagine.
I've made comments to my family members before too, like, oh, like, dude, that purple looks good on you, and it's like, that's not purple, like that's like red, and I'm like, huh, that's weird, because like it's in that spectrum still somehow.
Yeah.
What about the painting behind us? The two girls on the
One
right.
cup.
That's green. The middle one is reddish brown. It's brown. It's more brown than anything, but like I could see there being red in it. It looks the same color as the other one's hat, that's for sure.
Okay.
The rest of the painting is kind of like that's Sandstorm.
Yeah.
By Darude.
By Darude.
The paintings by Darude.
Can't forget that, or else you get the
I
wrong
can
color.
differentiate, you know.
Okay,
so walking-
It's just like whenever it gets mixed up, it's weird. Like I say, like if you just drop color pencils down, that's where it gets hard to do when there's a bunch of other colors around and it's all mixed up. Like
Yeah.
that's where I lose the differentiation, you know. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking through art galleries and just stare at a painting for a really long time. No, just go. That's Sandstorm by Darude.
Yes. Wow.
Sandstorm. I didn't know they had that color back then.
have you guys seen the music video for that song?
I don't think so.
Yeah, really?
I actually probably have. Isn't it just like a weird, like, aren't they just going through dunes?
It's a chase scene. It's like some people like robbed a bank or something, and it's like a whole chase scene with like these cops like chasing people through the city and stuff. It's pretty
I have a
badass,
very
yeah.
vague memory of that.
There's no way that if you played that song, I would be able to tell you that it wasn't by Crazy Frog.
I was gonna say you're thinking Crazy Frog, man.
Sandstorm by
Is
Darude by
Frog
Crazy
the
Frog.
artist, or is Crazy Frog an idea?
Both.
Crazy Frog's a lifestyle, bro.
Crazy Frog's a state of mind.
I'm in that Crazy Frog
is a
state of mind.
Yeah, the grind set, the frog set. Yeah.
That's what you guys have been doing wrong this whole time.
Yeah. Wake up every morning. Crazy Frog.
What's going on?
Oh my god.
So I watched some movies this week. 2 of them that I've been recommended, and I did not like either of them, and I'd like to explain why. Firstly, before I get any comeback or like responses on this, There Will Be Blood. So beautifully made movie, like it's all great, but like the story, what happens? It's just like it's like a slight, I don't even know. It's just weird. It's like the story of this guy, but you don't really learn any morals. There's no, I don't know. The story of that kind of, it just ended. And firstly, it felt like it should have been longer because it's a well-made movie and everything. But the storyline is just like, I don't know. We kept on saying that it felt like a lot of it had been edited out to make it shorter because it felt like there was just so many things that kind of went unanswered and like things that weren't fully explained all the way. So that's number one. The second one.
Wait, what was it called?
There Will Be Blood.
Who, is that newer?
No, that's pretty old.
No, I've heard of it, but who's in
That-
that?
that's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis and who's the Riddler?
Paul Dano.
Oh yeah,
Who also was, he was
Riddler.
colorblind in Little Miss
Paul
Sunshine.
Dano. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Oh whoa.
Yeah,
dude.
crazy.
What the fuck?
Synchronicities. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
And
that
the
movie-
Chinese made helicopters.
also Also, the scene where Daniel Day-Lewis like shoves Paul Dano in the mud and stuff, like that made me. I hate that. I've been thinking about that, and it makes me.
What? Wait, what do you not like about it?
He like humiliates him and like
sure.
like. I don't know, dude. It makes me feel dirty having watched that, and I want to fight him. I don't even like the priest, but it's like, don't do that to someone.
Doesn't that mean they just did a good job?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Because
But
that is like, who's the director?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
But yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson's
Paul Bufano?
specialty is making you feel like shit.
I haven't really watched any of his other stuff, so maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know anything
but
else he's
like
done,
I said,
too.
beautiful movie, and I really my qualm with it is just the storyline. It just felt like it ended weird, and I didn't really understand. Like they have the businessman in the church in the church, and they're like against each other, and neither of them are good. But like, it doesn't really finish out that point. I didn't think it kind of just introduces it and doesn't do that. Anyways, would you guys want to discuss that or should I move on?
Yeah, really quickly. So I really, really like There Will Be Blood. I think it's an amazing movie. It's, I mean, it obviously tells the story of what's his name, Daniel Plainview, who does that at the very beginning, where he like finds the oil and he breaks his legs and he drags himself back home, and then he like kind of becomes this oil baron. I think there's a ton of really amazing sequences of that, including that beginning one. Also, when the oil the thing explodes is awesome.
Yeah, those shots with where it's all red and stuff.
Yeah, and the absolutely classic "I Drink Your Milkshake," fucking amazing. The score is by Johnny Greenwood, and it fucking rules.
What?
Yeah, and it's like a bunch of like melodic sort of
and
like
it's
things.
like noticeable that it's so good while
Yeah.
you're doing it.
I
You're
didn't
thinking to
realize
yourself.
that. That's sick.
I think he won something, or he was nominated. I don't know. Really, really good. I think that the central performances by Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis are fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's a really slow movie, but it's engaging to me the entire time. I think that it's really interesting. They said that I think it's cut short because it is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I was gonna say that's a long ass movie.
Which means it's a good movie, right?
Yeah.
But like it's because the storyline, I didn't feel like it finished. It just kind of ends.
I kind of
you know?
get what you're saying. Like it was so long that they had to cut out Paul Thomas's story. Like, yeah, I could see how you were like missing pieces, but yeah, I think I'm with Alec. It's a pretty good movie. I really liked it.
It's based on a book called Oil by Upton Sinclair. And I think that it is like, it's a morality tale, but it doesn't shove it in your face. He shoves him in the ground. You're like, this is a horrible person.
Yeah.
And that's the morality of it, right? Showing like how many terrible things he does.
He uses Paul Dano as like a tool to further his oil baron, empire.
Man, I want to watch this movie. This sounds awesome.
It's good.
It rules,
Again,
yeah.
it just ends. The story is the only thing that, and also I do have to say though, it's adapted from a book. So sometimes you have to say, okay, like books don't always have to have the same like endings that movies do because they don't necessarily have the same tropes that go along with it.
Yeah.
So I think that might be kind of the thing. Is it's more about like here's the life of this guy more so than like here's a fight between these two.
Yeah.
But
Also on that is that Paul Thomas Anderson also did like Boogie Nights and Magnolia and Hard Eight and
Boogie Nights was crazy.
Yeah, Punch Drunk Love and Phantom Thread and Inherent Vice. He's done a ton of stuff. The Master. He's done a ton of stuff, and he kind of has that style. Licorice Pizza, I guess. But There Will Be Blood is my favorite one by him, for sure. And also, that movie came out the same year, 2007, as No Country for Old Men, and those two movies are intrinsically linked for me, and they both fucking rule, and they have like a similar vibe in a way. I don't know.
interesting. We also watched True Grit, but that's not one of the ones I'm going to talk about. That not really. It just kind of has the same
Cohen,
similar vibe. Okay, so the next movie I watched that I wasn't a big fan of was Licorice Pizza, which this one again the same thing where I end the end of it and it's like, is the point that like in the 70s girls were sexualized? Because even then it didn't really make that point all the way. And is the point that like, I don't know, this guy just keeps on having bad things happen to him over and over again, and we're supposed to not feel bad for him? That movie was just kind of weird. And again, at the end of it, I sat there going, I don't really know why I watched this. I don't really feel like I learned anything from it. I don't really feel like I've like had any new opinions. I kind of just watched some people do some stuff. It felt like it was supposed to be really good, but I don't really think it.
I think the only thing I really liked about that one was Bradley Cooper's character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did like that movie, but I don't really know why, honestly. I just thought it was like just an interesting story. But your reasons for not liking it surprised me. A lot of people are just really weirded out by the underage relationship.
That's fair too.
And I get that, but I don't know. I think it's ambiguous. It's left ambiguous enough that it's not super weird, and it's also complete fiction.
Right. I do think that was one weird thing, because she was weirded out by the age gap at first, and then she wasn't, which I guess I kind of took as like she's doing anything to get out of town. But
yeah, for sure. And I think that a big thing with Paul Thomas Anderson has a lot of really weird love stories, like in Phantom Thread. And he has a lot of controversial movies in general. And that is definitely one of them. Like, that's a weird plot point. And I get why it would make people really like weirded out by that movie.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You learn pretty quick, I think.
right.
Yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie, partially because of what you're talking about, but in general, I'm not like the biggest fan of like just kind of hang out
like
movies.
Would it be called slice of life?
Kind of, yeah.
It's kind of slice of life.
But my favorite part of that movie is there's a cameo by John C. Reilly where he plays Frankenstein. Like when they like walk into that weird like convention thing or whatever, and there's like the water beds and stuff, they walk past him and he just like says, he's like, "Rah," and then that's it. He's just there for like 2 seconds being Frankenstein. It's awesome.
I didn't notice that.
They had a lot of cameos in that movie. For sure. A lot of them. But yeah, anyways, just two movies that I kind of ended up at the end of them going, I don't really know why I watched these. There Will Be Blood, I prefer, but I still was just kind of had qualms with that.
Yeah. I think it's not like it's like an incredible film to me, but I enjoyed it. And maybe it's just because I had so many people telling me that I was going to hate it that I just like expected it to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So then I was like kind of pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, I'm kind of entertained. And yeah, the Bradley Cooper shit, fucking insane.
Yeah.
And like stylistically, like the way it was shot and the colors and stuff, like I can appreciate that too.
Yeah.
And what's the guy's name? He's in Community as the seize the day professor. But he's the guy who has the Asian wives, and he talks to them with an Asian accent.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know how to speak Japanese.
Oh yeah.
That shit made me laugh so hard.
There's some good lines in that movie.
Like that, it definitely had some really good jokes, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what his name is, but
it was categorized as a comedy movie, and I guess if I went into it with that, I might feel a little bit different of it instead of like, oh, it's supposed to be like a kind of dramatic or say something movie.
Really kind of, this is like an interesting fact about There Will Be Blood is like near the end of the movie, it's the milkshake scene, right? And he like takes the and this is a spoiler, but he takes like the bowling pin and he beats him up, and that's when there's the blood. There will be blood. That's what
at some point.
It was a promise.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that movie, you should.
I haven't seen that movie.
Again,
I want to.
From a movie making perspective, like perfect. The cinematography, awesome. The acting, awesome. The costuming, everything like that. It's just another thing was they were driving through the middle of town in like the 1800s, and there were phone lines. And not only were there phone lines, there was like a shitload of phone lines, like way more than there ever would have been at this point. It's like, and also all of the buildings they were in, they were buildings that were built back then, but now they look old. So like they wouldn't have looked old back then. You can't have an old looking building that would have been new.
Well, did you know there's cars in Middle Earth?
What?
There's cars
like New Zealand?
Oh, okay.
There's like a famous flub in the Fellowship where like you see a car in the background. It's when they're running down the hill right out of the Shire and stuff. They're escaping.
Really?
Yeah, it's when they're running through Farber maggots.
It's just a lot cooler to ride Shadowfax,
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Morgan? I hear you've been training.
Yes, I have been. Training of sorts. So me and some friends are planning a backpacking camping trip up and over Pine Valley Mountain. And
Sick.
I mean, the last couple days I figured like I may as well just hike my pack around. I biked my way over here with
a huge ass
probably
backpack.
like a good 60-pound bag, like all my stuff and everything I need, tent and everything. Yeah, I just I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
Are you summiting Pine Valley Mountain?
That's the idea.
That's
yeah,
sick.
the idea is to get to the top and then work our way north.
Wow.
My friend Reagan has a very good idea of that mountain in general. He's done this a couple times. He's gone up and over it like by himself. You know, I remember he was telling me this story the other day. His last adventure up and over. He was hiking the mountain. He got to the top, hung out for a couple hours, was about to set up camp. And then a storm started rolling in, just boom, coming in from north. And he was like, okay, well, let's find some shelter. And so in the midst of like making shelter, he takes his shirt off because he's sweating and all this, like boom, he assembles himself a lean-to, like starts a whole camp and everything. And in the midst of making camp, he somehow lost his shirt, right?
Oh no!
And on his way to find his shirt, he loses his lighter. So he doesn't have like,
fuck.
like fire. Like it's
He can't
freezing.
smoke weed.
Yeah, he can't smoke weed.
Oh no!
He can't smoke weed. He doesn't have a shirt. He's just on top of Pine Valley Mountain, like without a paddle. And I can't go into detail, but the night that he described was insane. Just
Terrifying.
yeah, just trying to stay warm.
With no shirt and no fire.
Oh my god!
What time of year?
But
What time of year was it?
this was like last year, like about this time. No, it was like March last year.
That's fucking cold.
Right, it is cold.
yeah.
It is cold.
It's like
yeah.
you die up there cold.
Right,
but
exactly. Yeah,
fucking
it was pretty
insane.
crazy. But yeah, no, you caught me off guard with that question, Emily. But yeah, I am training. Yes, we're gonna do a big old hike, and oh my goodness, I'm way stoked. Yeah.
Whatever
This
you do,
guy's named
don't take
Reagan.
your shirt off.
No, I'm just gonna eat a bunch of shrooms, freaking smoke a bunch of weed, walk my feet off, and hang out with the boys.
Don't lose your lighter either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, well,
Yeah.
I always keep 3 on me, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
If you
go.
lose one, it's all right, and then if you have to give one away, you're still good because you still got that third one. You know what I mean, like, yeah.
Facts.
Then you keep that shit fucking like sealed to your hand, like glued, super glued in there.
Yeah, but
Practical.
Normal
just have a
normal things
built-in
to do.
lighter. You can just like.
Yeah,
That'd be
go
cool.
gadget like
Yeah,
lighter.
exactly. Yeah, I am the lighter.
He's only caught himself on fire like twice doing that.
I am the fire.
Yeah, don't catch your shirt on fire and then
Right.
you'll be without a shirt.
Yeah, without a shirt, at least you got a lighter though.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Yeah, I can't imagine, but we'll be prepared this time, and our homie won't be alone. He'll have
I
us.
cannot wait to hear how it goes.
It'll be a good time. Yeah,
I've honestly
I'm
always
pretty
wanted
stoked.
to go to the peak of Pine Valley.
Same. I
It
grew up
seems
around here
really
the
cool.
entire time, looking up at it every day, dude. It's a beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see. Like,
I just can't even imagine what it feels like to stand at the very top and just like see the entire mountain around you. Very
and
crazy.
St. George must looks tiny.
Tiny.
Like, yeah, it's
Everything.
Yeah, you can probably see Enterprise, Cedar, St. George, everything from there. Yeah. I'm very excited. Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really good time. And yeah, I know. I showed up today. Emily's like, "Yo, that's a crazy pack you got." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm training. I'm pushing for it." I was so wet on the way over here. It was crazy, but worth it. It's gonna be a good time. I've been working up to it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Ryder, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, dude, actually, I've just been working a lot. It's kind of a boring answer, but my
well,
boss
you
has
have a
been
not boring
sick.
job.
Yeah, I work at a plant shop.
Oh.
It's,
Nice.
I wouldn't say it's particularly exciting, but
What plant shop?
do I dox myself?
I don't know if you dox yourself. I
You
know.
don't have to.
We can shout him out if you want.
House.
Weed. No, just kidding.
I work at a plant shop. It's a dispensary.
No, I think I guess I could say it. I work at Moss and Timber. It's like, who's gonna see
Yeah,
this?
shout out Moss and Timber.
Moss and Timber,
Is
St.
that-
George, come visit.
Cool
Come
ass
buy a
local.
plant.
Boss and Limber.
We do. We
Is that
sell
what you guys say
indoor
there?
house plants of all sorts: cactus, succulents, tropicals.
Do you take care of the plants?
Yeah, I'm taking care of them. I'm growing these plants.
Do you name them?
I don't name them. Everybody asks me that. I think I used to name them, but now it's just hard. There's too many of them, and I just see it. Its name is whatever it's
Yeah.
officially
I used to
called.
name
Its
my
Latin
succulents,
name.
but then I killed them, and then I didn't want to.
Yeah, man, that's
God.
That's
I don't want
rough.
Maurice to die,
No,
so
Maurice.
yeah, he's nameless.
Not Schmarbin.
What are your top 5 favorite plants?
Oh, I'm a big cactus and succulent guy.
Oh, specifics.
So, specifically, it's just gonna be some shit that's so boring and nobody's gonna know
good,
it
never
Say the
mind.
names. Say their names.
Say that.
I really like
Latin.
I really like Areocarpus. It's a genus of Mexican cactus. Are you looking it up?
Is it
That's exactly what I'm
psychedelic?
gonna do.
Areocarpus, Copiopoa, Turbinicarpus. I'm dropping the names. I could talk about it for way too long, so you guys are inviting some.
Oh, that's nice. It's a little like almost pineapple looking guy. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. They're also called living rocks because they will blend into like the shale or limestone hills that they grow on.
Oh, cool.
And they're considered a cryptic cactus, which means that they're really well hidden, really
see.
camouflaged to
A
survive.
what cactus? A what?
A crypto
Cryptic.
cactus.
Crypto cactus.
Yeah, they live on the blockchain.
They are an
Crypto
NFT.
cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm big into
No,
crypto.
what is it? It's cryptid. or-
Cryptic.
Cryptic cactus.
Cryptic, yes.
That's the like actual term because it blends in like.
Cryptic means hidden, basically.
Right. Okay, I can see it.
or-
That's just
yeah.
hilarious. Yeah. That's
Sick.
dope. Sounds cool.
Yeah. So that's what I like.
Nice.
I've got a lot of them.
Very cool.
A real succulent one. Right
Are
there.
you? Do you run out of space?
I got no space.
You got no space.
I'm definitely at my max. I
Really?
have like probably 350 established cactus
Really?
and succulents.
Wow.
Do you ever have to like get rid of some of your plants to get new plants?
Do I have to get rid of them? Sometimes I'll sell some or give them away.
Okay.
If I'm just like, really sick of it. But like
yeah.
usually my goal is to grow many of these until the day I die.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
emotional attachments to them?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
For not all of them, but I think as you get more and you've done it for longer, you kind of learn that not all plants are going to survive. So you kind of, it's like you just,
The Ryder dies.
you understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
The Ryder dies.
Ryder dies.
Oh no.
Help.
Wait, like with a W or just like the writer? Like what?
The writer
The
dies?
writer. The writer.
I don't know. Scary.
Right.
Help.
Right or die.
But yeah, no, you kind of get used to them dying. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they just die. It's like, it's like people. Kind of.
You get used to
Not
it.
everyone makes
not
it.
like that. But like,
what I thought
no, not exactly. Not exactly get used to them, but I mean in the way that like there's genetic dispositions to certain things that all people have, and plants are less adaptable to those genetic
Right.
conditions.
It's an inevitability.
So it's just some plants will die, even if you took care of it perfectly. But I do sometimes fuck it up.
Embarrassing.
We all fuck it up sometimes, and
That's
that's
right.
gardening.
That's right.
I always tell people at
Amen.
the plant shop that you try and you try until you decide that you want to give up.
Yeah. That's
Or
good.
you learn. You either try and then you figure it out, or you give up.
Wow. That is.
It's like most things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
some
sad, but
Giving
Knowledge.
yeah, wisdom.
There's just plants that people really like, and
Yeah.
and they get bummed out when they can't keep them alive. But the only way you learn is
By killing things.
sometimes they end up dying.
Yeah. I have a question. What's something this is a question for everyone. What's something you've given up on?
Giving up.
My marriage.
Damn. Oh.
I'm not married.
Damn. Ooh. Ouch. Ouchie. Ooh. Wow.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm married to Alec.
Oh.
That's why he's offended.
We're not giving up. I'm not giving up.
You got to do like a little animation over that.
Like a little wedding arch or
Not
something.
not the Twilight Zone theme. Oh, two guys
In
getting
a
married.
world where Alec and Ryder get married.
Yeah,
Corner,
we're hard
like-
launching Ryder as Alex's husband right today.
That's what it is.
In the Twilight Zone.
In the Twilight Zone, you might get married to your podcast host.
Fucking no. Shout out Rob Scary, for real.
Okay, no, people don't have to answer that question. That was.
I gave up on my marriage.
Oh shit!
I was gonna say something like cross stitching or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave up on getting a pharmacy technician's license.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I know. I gave up learning guitar. Shit's hard.
It is hard.
Hurts my fingers.
It hurts your
I'm not good at that shit.
No. Yeah. Yeah. If you give up on guitar, go learn some plants.
I did once give up on ceramics.
Really?
I hated ceramics. Yeah.
And now you're back?
Yeah. Now I'm back in the
How's
swing
your
of it.
centering game? Is it?
Oh, fucking terrible. I'm so bad at centering. I can't figure it out. I'm a hand builder. I do a lot of ceramics, but I'm only doing like pinch pots, coil slabs. I don't know how to throw. But yeah, in high school, I took a ceramics class, and it's the only class that I ditched every single day.
That's
Really?
wild to me.
I did it for like 2
Wow.
weeks, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'd like sit there like, help me, teacher. And she like never would come. And I get it. Like, you know,
Public
there's
education.
fuckload of kids in that class.
Yeah.
And you can't always help every single kid. And, maybe I'm like a kid that's like not wanting to make too much of a fuss about it back then. So, but I was definitely not learning how to center, and I would just leave the class so fucking dirty with nothing accomplished. And I was like, so they had like a time card system where you could just write, but it wasn't like a punch clock. So you would just come into the class, you'd write down the time that the class started, and then you'd write down the time that the class ended. So me and one of my friends in the class realized we don't have to be here at all. like she's not gonna know. I sat for a whole class period and I was raising my hand. She didn't notice me then.
Yeah.
So we just started going in, writing our time, and then leaving.
Damn.
But-
You got away with it.
But I vowed to never do ceramics again. And I'd had friends that were like, Ryder, just try it, after high school. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to do it. I hate that shit. But
They knew.
Surprise.
I didn't know you could hand build. Yeah.
I am absolute shit at hand building. All of it cracks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I build
I've-
hands.
No.
You're cracking hands?
I have hand built a couple pots that are successfully there, the big ones.
Those are yours?
Yeah.
Dope.
That has the rubber trim?
That's sick.
Yep. And then the one behind it.
That's rad.
Those
Well,
big boys.
I'll take a photo of it and we
Those
can
are
put
pretty
it
big
for the
boys.
YouTube.
I'd just like to point out there's something called I don't know what it's called, but it's like jargon sentences where you get like a perfect, just good use of jargon. And the first time I noticed it was when Scout was on the podcast and he was talking about baseball. You just had one and you were like, oh, I slap, snips, skank. I don't know what you said. You said a bunch of things and I was like,
Skank.
that's
Skank.
so
I haven't heard the
good.
word
I'm
Yeah.
slapping
skank
and
in
skinking?
I don't know. You
guys
guys
don't
listed
slap
like
and
5 or
skink?
6 things in a row. And I
You're
was
in
like,
the ska?
Hottest
Everybody slaps
hip
skank.
hop dance of 2023 is slap and skink.
snap, crackle, pop.
Slap, slip, and snake. Yeah.
Comment if you slap and skink.
Yeah. Skank historians, go ahead and jump in the comments.
Is skank a slur?
No, but skank is like a type of dance, like a ska
dance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's my shit.
It's pretty sick, actually. Have you guys ever been to a ska show?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
We talked about it
Streetlight
yesterday,
Manifesto.
actually. That's a
Yeah.
real big fish
Oh, yeah, that's right.
at
Oh,
the
nice.
Electric Theater.
Yeah.
Oh, here?
When I was like 12.
Yeah, that's it.
13
Well,
maybe.
Honestly, I don't feel like a ska show would be better any older than 12. I feel like
No.
12 is the best year to see a ska show.
I mean, you're probably offending a lot of ska fans, ska diehards, but I agree.
Are there ska diehards in 2023?
There might be.
Yeah, dude. Okay, we've already had this conversation, but there's ska's making a comeback, kind of.
Is it?
Yeah, there's people. Jer is the one I can think of who's really like pushing it in a lot of ways, but there's ska on the horizon. Yeah. We saw Streetlight.
Yeah.
Streetlight
Up in
Manifesto.
Murray
They fucking
Theater.
rule. Yeah.
That was a cool show. I got the set list from that show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, I
sick,
didn't
dude.
know that.
I've gotten set
Cool.
lists from so many good shows, and it's crazy because it's like never even been a thing. Like it's just I've always walked up there and just gotten it. And Queens of the Stone Age, Sound of Animals Fighting, Streetlight Manifesto, RX Bandits, Albert Hammond Jr. I got one from the Queens of the Stone Age, but there was someone else who was in front of me who definitely should have gotten it, so I gave it to them. Anyway.
So do you ask for it or do you just
You
go
just
take
walk
it?
up to the front of the stage, and a lot of time they'll be handing them out. They'll sticks and picks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can just stand up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
So you got like do you have like 4 set lists so everyone can see, or
yeah.
the
So
band?
every band member will have a set list, right? And so then there's like 4 or 5, however many band members there are to go around.
Yeah.
And then if it's a small enough venue, then you can get them to sign.
That is a fun
there.
thing to collect.
Yeah, it's cool. I
It
mean,
is.
it's cool because like there's not. I mean, it's cooler than merch because it's free, but it's also like something. Yeah, I don't know.
It's got more substance.
Yeah.
I bet you have like really vintage ones that go for a lot on eBay or whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
So Albert Hammond Jr. is signed by everyone in the band. RX Bandits, it was signed by everyone in the band because we went and saw them in that downstairs thing. Sound of Animals Fighting is signed by some of them. So yeah, probably. Anyways,
Yeah.
but
I've
I'm
been,
not selling that though.
I've been thinking about vintage books a lot lately. It's because I've been seeing the cover of this book called Western Wildflowers, and it's so pretty, just like the design of this cover. And so I like did a little perusing late one night, and this is a whole world I've never been exposed to before, where like you get a first edition and it's like a very special thing.
Yeah.
It's
you guys-
motivating for sure. I need to make more money to get
you
into
been
that
in,
hobby.
Yeah.
Have you been in the Book Bungalow?
No,
There's
I
a little-
haven't.
It's right by like
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and anyways, it's kind of cool. It's just like this nice little. I mean, it's just books everywhere. It's like this is pretty sick. They have this like little like Harry Potter room where they have all Harry Potter stuff, and it's cool. Shout out Book Bungalow.
Yeah. Cool local
Would
business.
you call it a chamber of secrets?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So I have another thing. So
Was that the Harry Potter song?
Yeah. The Harry Potter zone.
Harry,
Harry Potter zone.
the boy who lived.
Boom boom.
So just an update on. I've been updating the pod as my new job has gone along. So I've now been doing this. I've run my new job with the city where I'm doing the directing stuff. I've
Agent of the state.
I've run 2 of them by myself. I am now a child wrangler. I know how to do some crafts. I learned some boomwhacker songs and I taught them to children. Anyways, that's all. I just that's where I'm at now. I've done these.
Are you planning on learning any more boomwhacker songs?
Honestly, I might. What do you do with kids? I swear, you read a book to them, you teach them a craft, and then you're sitting there and like, oh man, I've taken care of this, and you look and it's been like 12 minutes, and it's like I have an hour and a half to fill.
Yeah.
You teach them soccer.
Yeah, I'm about to start doing that. It's supposed to be art.
Yeah, that's why people buy fucking iPads. Like,
Right. All right, here you go. iPad in the park.
iPad in the park.
hey, St. George City, we have an idea for you.
So the other thing that I have written is, so this is just, as an ex-Mormon, sometimes I just like hear Mormon things or just like think about things that I used to hear all the time, and it just makes me laugh. And this is one of them. There's this saying that goes, and it's just like, it's so sassy, and I don't know why it's so sassy, but it's, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
It is so sassy.
Yeah, that is
As for me
holy
and
shit.
my house.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know who your house is serving.
You guys
my
have heard that
house?
quote, right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that actually.
I've never heard
I
that.
never-
That's a great.
Fucking wild.
Hard, man.
I never heard it said
Yes,
that way.
ma'am.
As for me and my house.
Say it a little more femme.
As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
That's like a fucking Real
Serve
Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh my god!
No,
Holy
that's what I
shit.
keep on hearing is it's
Holy
like, yeah, this
shit.
isn't a Mormon saying. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, as for me and my house, we will serve the looks
Yeah.
or something.
Oh yeah, that's
I would
good.
never
That's really good.
commit, or what did they say in that episode? I can't believe that she committed fraud or whatever. It's that same thing. As for me and my house.
Yeah.
Don't come after me, or I will send Jesus after you. Or
God,
something.
that goes crazy. There.
Yeah,
Oh,
hard.
I have
Sample
something. It's time for Supreme 69 Seconds of
It's
Soccer.
Bow, 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 bow. You got the timer. You have the
Oh,
timer.
God,
to
I
put
always
on
forget to put on the timer.
69 seconds.
We cut.
Oh
we
yeah,
cut right here
69
anyways.
seconds now.
Yeah, it's bumped up.
Ready,
We's not.
go.
Okay, welcome to Supreme 69 Seconds of Soccer. Let's go.
Let's go.
Firstly, Real Salt Lake. Change the name of your stadium.
Please.
Okay, moving on. Messi is coming to MLS, baby. Let's fucking go.
Whoa.
Messi
What?
is coming to MLS. He announced 2 days ago he's signing for Inter
I thought
Miami,
he meant
leaving
RSL.
PSG,
These
coming to
acronyms.
America, baby. Let's fucking go.
go.
Not only that, he could be playing in Salt Lake City in the Open Cup final, saying that we get there.
damn.
Anyways, moving on. RSL is signing Chicho Arango. Let's fucking go!
Chicho!
Finally,
Chicho!
RSL gets the R9. We were linked with him all last season, and we didn't get him. But finally, we signed him from Pachuca. I think that we had to move it or wait till we went to Mexico to sign him, so we didn't have to use any GAM or TAM. We could just sign him with actual dollars. But I don't care.
tags.
Let's fucking go. RSL has their 9. We can finally put Krylock in midfield and Sava on the wing because we have someone to go in the middle. Not to mention, we're in a cup semifinal right now. We are in the Open Cup semifinal, playing Houston on August 23rd, with a chance, if we win that, to play Messi at home in a cup final. This is the biggest thing that's happened to RSL since 2009. Let's go. Poncho Macaroni is bringing a cup to RSL, baby. Let's go.
You
Shut
need
up.
to be quiet right now.
You're scaring Daisy.
Look at
Poncho
her.
Macaroni.
She wants to come
Frightened.
seek
She's so
comfort.
frightened.
She's so
I'm
frightened.
so sorry, Daisy.
Shout out Chico Orangutan.
That's his name. Okay, so last week,
Daisy
Alec
needs
got
me.
3 points for predicting a 3-2 win.
Let's go.
Points?
Yeah,
damn.
but then me and Emily both got 1 point for predicting a win. So Emily is still ahead with 10 points, but you have 9 points now.
Oh. Well, you just hit double digits. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still in the lead.
Emily. MLS.
I'm gonna destroy
MLS.
you. MLM.
Okay, Alec, predictions for RSL versus New York City FC.
Oh, New York City FC. Well, I'm just going to go RSL 3-2.
Are they
All
playing
right.
in Utah?
They are playing in Utah.
RSL win 2-0.
What if nobody's right on these predictions? Is it just whoever's
one gets a
closest?
point.
Yeah, it's just points. No one. Yeah, you only get points if you get it right.
Oh,
Prediction
okay, bet.
2-1.
to who? RSL or NYC?
RSL 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Daisy. What's your prediction?
Food.
Hood.
Tell us, Daisy.
Yeah. Quan?
2-0.
2.
Not RSL.
NYC. Wow.
NYC, baby.
NYCFC.
I'm gonna say a 1-0 RSL win, baby. Let's fucking go. And that's
just
it.
a little tip on the top. Just a little beep. Just a little 1-0.
Well, a little smash and grab is what they.
Little smash and-
smash and grab.
Smash and grab.
Exactly. That's how they
oh wait,
speak in England.
grab.
Is that your British accent?
Gonna be quite a smash and grab.
Yeah, oh my god.
Smash and grab, I think. It's a smash and grab or a grab and smash?
Gwubbinsmash.
Yeah, wait, yeah. How do you smash it if you haven't grabbed it?
We say Gwubbinsmash.
Oh my god.
It sounds like a royalty.
Sure,
Gwubbinsmash.
Gwubbinsmash.
GWUBBIN.
Gwubbinsmash.
It almost sounds like one word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those Brits do some fucked up shit to our language.
Yeah, we
Our
hate
language.
them. That's our language. All right, well, I think that is now time for the Watch of the Week.
Yeah.
Watch of the week.
This week's Watch of the Week is The Rehearsal, Season 1, Episode 1. Orange Juice, No Pulp.
Ooh.
This is an episode that Ryder, our guest, recommended. So, Ryder, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, this is probably, I don't know, I think it's one of the most deranged shows that Nathan Fielder's ever made so far, anyway. Like, Nathan For You, so many crazy episodes in that show, but this takes it to a whole nother level.
does.
And
Yeah.
especially as the season progresses, you just watch Nathan and you kind of question like his ethics, and even he questions his ethics in this show. But it's so crazy, and I couldn't believe that like most of you guys hadn't seen it. So
Yeah, I'd heard about it. I'd read articles and stuff, but I had never watched
I think
rewatched
I've
it.
seen some TikTok clips of it.
I had
possibly.
been meaning to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big Nathan Fielder guy for sure, and I like as soon as I found out he was making something else, because he ended Nathan For You. I don't think he makes that show anymore.
No.
Which season finale, Nathan For You, watch that shit. Insane.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier.
I've
Finding-
not seen that either.
Finding
but-
Francis.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did you guys think about this episode?
I thought it was great. Oh yeah, just to give like a really brief overview of like what the show is that
yeah.
like it's like Nathan finds people that have something that they're avoiding doing, and then like having a conversation with a friend, and then will basically stage a rehearsal of that event
To the T.
To the T. So he hires an actor that looks like the friend. They build a set of the environment they're going to do it in, and then they sit down and they map out the conversation and all the possible permutations of the conversation, so that they can practice it before they go in and do it.
This makes me feel, I don't know, neurodivergence can relate.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that like from a, I don't know if it's meta, but like looking at the whole thing, the rehearsal is interesting compared to Nathan For You, because it's kind of like the same idea, just a little bit augmented,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's instead of setting up these businesses, setting up, which
More
I
of
think
a
is
therapist, sort of.
yeah, and like, but he gets himself into the same situations, the same types of conversations.
Yeah, instead
and
of
stuff.
business success, it's social success.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
That's a good way to put
Right,
it.
yeah.
And I think that it's also interesting to think about, like, you can't make this comedy without a huge budget, right? Like, you can't build a whole
Insane.
building,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
interesting too, because like, so there's so much that has to do with context for this to get made, right? Like, Nathan has to be given the money to do Nathan For You first, and then have to augment it slightly, and then, anyways, it's just interesting what it's gone through to come out like this, just from a meta perspective. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. It takes a lot, and it's kind of crazy that they do it. This episode specifically is about a guy named Core Skeet, who has lied to his friends about having a master's degree, and specifically his trivia night friends. And so he's talking to one of them, and her name is Trisha. Yeah, and so they set up at this bar, called the Alligator Lounge, where they're doing trivia night there to go have this conversation.
And everything in this bar and outside of this bar is an exact replica.
Down to
the spice
The balloon,
jars.
the balloon.
So I don't know if it's
Floating
supposed
in
to be funny, but like trivia and Trisha,
I
like
was gonna say, yeah, Trisha is spelled with a C, by the way. So
It's
it's
just
as
one
in
letter
it's
off.
trivia, but a C instead of a V.
Trisha.
Yeah. There's certain things about this, honestly, watching it, where I go like, is this really all like really not staged? You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
honestly highly debated.
yeah,
I
'cause-
love wondering that.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of confirmation that like there is real stuff happening in the show, but I think the show's intention is to kind of make that confusing as to where they're like, what is the line? Like,
Yeah.
where is the reality? And
Yeah,
The Eric
abstract
Andre show?
is the point in a
It's
way, right?
it's a little bit like Kunk on Earth,
Yeah.
also in
Yeah.
that way.
And the
And
Eric
Nirvana-
Andre show is the one that brings to mind also, where it's like, are they in on it or
Yeah.
not?
I think Eric Andre, it's like a little more in on it than this show, because like Core is not in on it. Like, there's no way Core's in on it.
Yeah.
I think that like you brought up a point where it was like some of the people in the bar might have been in on it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could see that for sure.
And there's definitely, the other thing that's confusing is there's definitely, like, they get shots, 4 shots, and like Core was on board with that. There's this one shot that I saw. We were laughing about Nathan. He has this like laptop holder on. That's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's so
as
good.
it's zooming up, Core and the girl are sitting there, and they're just like frozen. Like, they're literally just like sitting there frozen because it's getting the shot of Nathan, and they
Yeah.
just have to be in it. which so like they are for sure there to make the show, but
For sure.
I think that
Right, exactly.
But it's
But
like
being guided through that anyway, right? Like
It's like with Nathan For You though, like, and there is confirmation that much of what you saw in Nathan For You is real. Like those are real people, and what they do is they mislead them into thinking that the show is about something else. In fact, a lot of the times to get the people on the show, they're just telling them this vague idea of what the show's about.
okay.
And so they're just all on board, and then Nathan will completely blindside them with the weird shit that he wants them to do. So there is like an element of like any reality show. There is, they're retaking things, they're doing multiple shots.
Right.
And and they're getting, fucked up
I
clips
guess-
where they're cutting it together. And
Yeah, like reality shows, it definitely. I mean, it's not a reality show, but reality shows also do that to you. Where you
and people
it's
just
dancing
act
on
weird.
the line between reality show and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what captures that weirdness, in people. Like that's the genuine goodness. Like that's what got me with Nathan For You. Is like, oh, he'll lean into that, and then it's just you get this whole fucking like section where it's just the weirdness of the people, the awkwardness in people's actual lives, and it's that beauty. Like there's something beautiful about that.
Yeah, and I think that kind of what you're pointing, getting towards is that like it kind of feels like the joke is on the person a little bit, like that they're engaging with this and that their situation is so ridiculous, and that like the fact that in this episode that Core is not being like, this is fucking ridiculous, like why would I do that? But instead they're like going along with it. But I think that also it's like they probably had people that submitted things. They told them about it. They had the whole first interaction where he like, has practiced it, and they're like, I'm not interested in this.
Right.
You don't get to see those. So it's only the people that are.
Yeah. And actually, I think that, I don't want to spoil anything about the show, but as you watch the episodes, I think you'll understand that more and more, that is definitely true.
Yeah.
And you do kind of see it happen during the show's filming.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say that it changes a lot. This first episode is actually one of my favorites just because it's so bizarre. But the rest basically covers one arc, like one story arc.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So you think it's going to be like this sort of episodic thing, but I kind of think that they had this issue in casting, like where they would get these people to audition and they'd get them get them into it. And then they'd be like, no, I'm not fucking doing this. Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so
And like,
wild.
okay, so let's talk about like the first moment when Nathan comes into Core's house and he reveals what's been going on.
Yeah.
He says, do you remember the gas company that came to do an inspection last week? And he's like, and he like immediately seems concerned. He's like, yeah.
What?
And he goes, that was actually my team, and they were scoping your house out and to get me a full 3D model so I could recreate your
oh my god, oh my god, the fucking joke that he says after walking in the door, he's like, Door City over here.
Door
you
City.
couldn't possibly even see that there are other doors right
I
there.
already knew it.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
But yeah, that's like from an ethical perspective, a legitimate invasion of privacy.
For fucking sure.
Yeah.
He seemed blown away. I don't think that was fucking scripted at all.
No, absolutely not. But the fact that like he was like, okay, I'm still willing to go along with this is kind of a little bit crazy.
I mean, at that point, why not? Fuck it. Let's see
Yeah,
what
I'm sure
else.
he's getting
Well,
money.
apparently
I
other
want to
people did
know the
not.
truth.
Well,
I want to
okay.
know how in on it he was.
I think that
Yeah.
I think that there's something that happens psychologically to people when a camera is put in. I mean, it's like that experiment where, like the guard experiment, where they like made these people. They gave them like this arbitrary position.
The wave.
Was the prison experiment?
the
the
wave.
Stanford prison.
Yeah, the Stanford
Yeah.
prison
What was
experiment.
that?
Well, they just got a bunch of people and locked them into this building and said, okay, you people are
They
in
gave you
charge
a
of these
role.
people. And they just got violent and crazy. But,
shit.
But that's like, so it's similar. I think it's similar to that where like they feel like they can't like say no to certain things. Like, cause there's a camera, there's a authority.
There's an expectation.
And
there's a
expectation. And
plan.
Kor seems like a sweet guy. He doesn't want to like ruin the whole thing and like say something and like call it off.
And you know, you brought up neurodivergence, and like I don't want to just like make assumptions, but it seems like Core might be neurodivergent, and so probably would not be as have as many skill sets in terms of saying I'm not sure about this.
I really,
So the
I really
exploitation-
hope that Core is an actor. Is what I'm
I don't
saying.
think he is.
I'm sure he's not.
Yeah, I think that it would ruin it if he was. Like
He
you know.
has like he would be a perfect actor for I Think You Should Leave. The
Yeah.
way he
Oh,
looks,
yeah.
the way
Yeah,
he
for
acts.
sure.
I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
thinking the whole time, I can't believe Nathan Fielder got him before Tim Robinson.
I mean, he
Crazy.
kind of does rock though. Like he's a sweet guy, and I think that's kind of the thing about this show is you're like, this is fucking cruel, Nathan. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, it's kind of fucked up that you're doing this, and as the show goes on, you think it more and more. But so does he. He realizes that this show is like fucked up, and everybody's thinking like, Nathan, holy fuck, this is delusional.
Yeah, crazy. And I guess, you know, you gotta, I think that, you know, once they're in on it, okay, that's fine. But before then, when you are going to their house
Yeah.
and doing a full 3D model of
Fucking
it,
insane.
I
like,
can't imagine
I-
that was legitimate.
I love the camera. They could have filmed that afterward.
Yeah.
I think that maybe they did do that though.
and that,
I don't know.
Because you can get release forms signed, and if you're not fucking reading these
Whether or not
contracts,
that's
like,
afterwards or got the release form signed afterwards, one of those things happened, right? Like because
Yeah.
it had to have
Yeah.
been.
yeah, and I think that this maybe brings up a different ethical question, which is like, as viewers, is it ethical to lie to your viewers when you're really presenting that you are telling the truth about it, right? You know, and I maybe, you know, when it's television, like, you know, it's television, but also it's being presented as being the truth, not being presented as being totally false, in a medium that is false. Sorry.
I'm so
The dogs have taken this
so
over.
cute. They're being so funny.
this is a strange game they're playing.
It's who's gonna hump who. Huh?
Who will be the humpest?
Daisy is.
The humpest.
Daisy's winning, I think.
She is
The humpest games.
She is winning,
She's
but
bigger.
she hasn't humped.
No,
At
neither
all.
of them has humped.
It's who's gonna
They're
mount.
both just, like, going
Who's
at
gonna show dominance over who? And she's so playful around him, and it makes me so happy.
So cute.
Like
Yeah.
this is a happy pod.
And Zero's gonna
Sorry.
stupid.
Sorry.
The
Totally
other thing I was
That was crazy.
the other thing I was going to talk about was how spot on the actor that Core, like the actor that they got to play Core did such and Trish.
And Trish.
Yeah, Trish's
They
actor,
both
yeah.
did such an impeccable job. Like,
Yeah.
like nailed these people. Like
Yep.
they did a cut to cut where it was like his reaction to Core's reaction.
Yeah.
It was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Good acting.
Good acting.
Yeah. Can we
And
talk
a
about
Those guys
lot
should
of
be
money
famous.
for casting, right?
so
Yeah.
so much money was funneled into this. So
Dude,
much.
just
Right,
wait.
yeah.
Time,
It,
not
it
just-
only
Yeah.
this show only gets more expensive.
This
I can't wait to watch the rest of it.
I love it when artists get that major label or the major company money and they just spend it on bullshit, dude. It's awesome. Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Willy Wonka just
Wait, so I'm the bad guy?
Dude, and Core's like, well, no, I think that, no,
he makes dreams happen.
Dreams
But like,
happen.
it's
just
a
beyond
factory
that,
full
like,
of chocolate and candy.
Nathan Fielder's role in this to him really is like that. Like you're creating this farce.
I think this
Right?
that instance created a narrative for the entire show.
It
Really?
honestly is
Yeah.
beautiful, and bringing the music back at the
I
very
can see
end
it.
for that,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my god,
Dude, it's
yeah.
so that interaction was so good. And I feel like as soon as Core said that to him, he was like, yes.
It's on.
Yes.
And
He's like,
like,
I'm the bad guy.
And I think so. So there's a lot of like kind of debate about like whether Nathan is playing a character or not. And I think that interaction, as well as other ones, kind of shows me that he is playing a character
Yeah.
because. Like if he was actually who he was, like I don't think he would react that way. You know what I mean? He wouldn't. Well, one, he wouldn't be able to make a show like this. He wouldn't actually have
Right.
like the kind of social wherewithal to like go through the process of making a television show. But like Nathan is definitely playing up his, you know, aspects of himself.
For
But he's
sure.
also not he's not the character that he is portraying.
You wouldn't be able to
he's
direct
taking it and
No.
running with it.
and invent a show like this without that being part of you.
Yeah.
He's like,
Exactly.
oh, Willy Wonka, let's go, and he rolls with that, right?
And this is like very side note, but I saw this interview with Ari Aster for his new movie Beau is Afraid.
Yeah.
And Nathan Fielder directed the commentary. Like it was like a after screening interview with Ari Aster, and Nathan Fielder was asking the questions, and I thought it was so weird.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But he was just a totally normal human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
He's
believe
just a
it.
comedian.
If Nathan Fielder was walking down the street, there's no way anyone could pick him out. Not only to mention,
no.
if
Any
Nathan
white woman-
Fielder and
any
John
white woman
Mulaney
would
were walking
tackle
down the
him.
street, you'd have no clue who they were.
Yes.
They look the exact same.
What's with the all the women that
Yeah,
want to fuck Nathan Fielder? Are you one of those people?
No, but I saw a TikTok like analysis of the phenomenon.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Nathan
think
effect.
it might be part of the rehearsal or like a promotion for the rehearsal.
Really?
But him and not the TikTok analysis.
I was like, what?
It's like this
It goes
footage
that
of
deep.
him singing like a Christmas song or like
with,
something with
Oh, yeah,
an
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actress.
Is
Is that part of this
Yes.
show? And the guy analyzing it is talking about how like he like is, or his character is like actually kind of getting vulnerable and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe that's part of the reason, or it's extremely good PR. You know what I mean?
He's also,
Or,
he's-
women like to
I
kind
mean,
of,
I wouldn't blame him.
I don't know.
He feels harmless.
yeah, he's just a funny guy.
We like to attach to a certain quirky dude once a year.
Yeah, that's
who's
true.
in the
It's like-
public
I would
eye.
definitely say he's probably
having his year.
Yeah.
he's
It's
the
Nathan
for-
Fielder's year for white women.
Nathan for white women.
what's the opposite of a manic pixie dream girl? It's like
It's
that.
Nathan
It's
Fielder.
Yeah, Nathan Fielder. Yeah.
He reminds me of one of my cousins actually a lot. Is he Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your cousin's Canadian?
Yeah. And he like did consulting for a long
know who else
time,
is
which
Michael Cera.
You know who else is
my
About the
God.
Canadians, isn't it?
We're
Yeah.
onto something.
You know who else
here.
is Canadian?
Oh,
Are the
boy.
guys that did Nirvana, the band, the show. And there are some similarities between that and this in like the kind of like the public sort of facing
Yeah.
stuff. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen, but I
It's really good.
I watched that episode.
Oh, did you?
Listened to that
What is it
Okay.
called?
I have
Nirvana,
seen
the band of the show.
the
Nirvana,
classic.
the band of the show.
I've seen the classic video, which is the Wii Shop rap.
The Wii Shop rap?
Yeah, Super Mario RPG. You don't know
No,
this?
I have no idea.
I mean, it sounds like a banger.
I don't know if it's in the show, but
Can we
it's
quickly
one of their
watch
old
this?
YouTube
Like a
videos.
mini
Yeah,
watch
we,
of the
we
Wii?
should we should put that up actually.
Can we?
You want
But
to pull it
you
up on
made that podcast episode really made me want to watch that show. By the way,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I've known about that show for a really long time, and I've just never like thought about watching it for whatever reason. But I'm convinced.
What'd you think of it? Did you?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you
yet.
haven't? It's
I'm
so
going
good.
to watch it probably.
It's one
honestly
of-
maybe even tonight.
Oh, cool. Shout out
watch
Nirvana, the
it?
band, the show.
And it like it's fun to watch. Like you're
Yeah.
wanting to watch.
Oh,
more,
it
you know?
seems like something I'd love so fucking much.
Is it like released? Is it YouTube?
Yeah, I think
my
it is on
God.
YouTube.
No,
Isn't it?
so it was through Vox, and then they
Yeah.
removed it. So now it's only through the
Max?
secret downloadable file or something. like that.
Yeah, it's a Vice show.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah. Wait, you gotta go to the beginning.
Yeah, update day. What? New Wii titles. What? I'm in the bathroom. Update day for the Wii shopping channel.
The run.
It's funny because normally they do midnight, but it's like 11. It's like 11:15.
Holy shit!
What time is it in Japan? Fucking turn that up. I love that grooving. What kind of music is that? Like a bossa nova beat? Makes you really want to just croon it. This is such a danceable song. You know what we should do? We should write a song for our act with titles of Wii games. Oh, I like it. Because everybody
I like it. Come on.
So what we'll do is we'll write a theme song for the Wii Shopping channel. Watch this. Watch this. You can sing to the titles of the Super Mario RPG, Super Mario 3, Mega Man, Neo, Turf Masters, Breakin', Star. You know what I mean, Jared?
Yeah.
Like every Star, you say the lyrics of the. Let me try one.
Super Mario RPG, Sonic the Hedgehog, Donkey Kong 3, Adventures of Lolo 1 and 2, King Snipe, Dig Dug, Juman Fu, Harvest Moon, Pokemon, Toe Jam and Earl,
Wait, what?
Castlevania, Fatal Fury, Ninja Turtle, Mario Comet, Razor Blazing, Lasers, Bases, Loaded, Mega Turrican, Cybernator, Rolling Thunder, Dynastic Hero, Bubble, Bobble, Double, Triple, Double, Dragon F-Zero. I get it.
Yeah.
And like Zero and Donkey Kong Jr. Man. Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3. Who's the USA?
That's great.
Yeah, that's
That
really
was
good.
great,
Holy
dude.
shit.
That shit's classic.
Wait, who was that?
Nirvana, the band of the show. dude.
That's from their web
what
series.
they call themselves? Like,
Yeah, I think that was pre the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's
great.
really, really good. It's really
We'll
good.
throw a link to that video down in the comments so you can watch
Yes.
it as well, or in the description.
Should we go through our notes for the rehearsal now?
Yeah. I have some. Yeah.
So
Want to do lightning round?
that's fine.
Okay, let's do lightning round. Starting off, I like how he gets the Beavis and Butthead thing. Goes,
Shout out right off the bat.
yeah.
Okay, now Max.
I like how he said that was probably the biggest failure of my life, and he's like, "What was that? The biggest failure of my life." Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to say anything, but you want people to know you exist.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good line.
Cheap chick in the city. Cheap chick in the city. Cheap chick in the city.
Cheap,
That
cheap
was one
chick in the city.
I felt like he must have been in the
He
joke
had
for
to
that.
have been, yeah.
A small difference in chairs, and he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, the different hats that they're wearing at the park when she does the interview with her, and she's like wearing like the one hat. She has
The
the
bird
beanie.
watching hat and the beanie, yeah.
Yeah, that goes hard.
just Trish the Dish. That's her
Yeah,
nickname.
yeah. I curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder.
The fucking, all the fucking scenarios
So
that he put
good.
him in to implant the idea. Yeah.
So fucking funny.
Core going, look, this has to happen after the trivia night. I'm not sacrificing trivia and Trisha.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, just the skeet shooting thing, just like doing it where they load blanks.
So funny.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
And then later in the episode 2.
yeah, yep.
So we had the idea in one of our scripts for there to be a scene in Del Taco where Patrick is sucking the Del Taco,
Yeah.
the Scorcho out of the packet.
Yeah, he just does-
and he does this in this episode
We can
with
still
a
do it.
ketchup packet.
I didn't notice that. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's
I knew
when
he
he's
was doing
the-
something weird.
He's the
but-
YouTube influencer character, and that's how he got the bar to do
and his
his
cool
answers.
guy outfit.
Oh, that's
So
right.
fucking funny.
Such a fit.
Just in the middle of talking to the guy, he just squeezes a fucking
The
packet
whole
in
thing.
his
Oh my
mouth.
god,
Yeah.
sick.
I was like, damn, we're on the same wavelength.
When the actor is talking to Trish in the park, she lies about like the having the kid, and Trish says, "Yeah, 39 is a little young to have a daughter."
Dude, I thought that was fucking insane, Trish.
Basically.
Nowadays, these days, maybe
Yeah.
life's different in New York City, you know?
Yeah,
Liberals.
I think Utah has us fucked up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, 19's that's a little young. That's what we're saying. Like 19's
Yeah.
a little young to be having a daughter, I guess.
Utah is fucking-
I would have thought that you were lying when you said that.
insane. Those are all my little bits that I wrote down.
That's me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Those weren't
format.
little bits. Those were big bits.
Big,
Those big bits.
Bits.
Yeah. I do love the fact that in order to like get people to move, they tells him that his grandma had brain cancer, and
Same.
like,
And
I
then the
thought
guy
for
had
sure.
his grandma just recently died from brain
Actually, my
cancer.
grandma just suffered from the same
he's like-
thing. I'm sorry.
Instantly, he's like, yeah, man, we'll move.
yeah.
Yeah, man, that
I thought
happened
for
to my
sure that was going to come back and bite him in the
I did
live,
too.
you know.
Yeah.
The fucking tension while he's waiting for the pizza.
Oh,
he's like
just
turned around.
He's just
Yeah.
like biting his lip. He's like,
Keeps on looking. Yeah.
when's that pizza
Painful.
coming out?
Yeah.
When it results in nothing, like she's chill with it the whole time. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what's
It
so
teaches
sweet.
us a little lesson.
That's what's
perhaps.
so sweet about this show. Yeah, it's like you're watching the whole thing happen, and you're like, damn, like this was fucked up of you, Nathan. And then at the end, you're kind of like, man, I'm so glad that everything worked out for him.
Yeah.
Like she really didn't care, and it was so sweet how she was like, no, that doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck yeah. And he's instantly like, you can feel the intense weight just lift off of him. And
Yeah.
he's like, yes.
the weight lifted off of me too.
like,
as
oh,
the viewer.
everyone,
Like,
everyone.
So
Yeah.
at the end, it shows him telling his actor counterpart that he helped him cheat at trivia.
Yeah.
But then in the real life situation, he didn't.
Yeah.
He decided not to tell him.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah,
that
that's
was?
yeah.
Okay.
He didn't tell Core the truth about him staging the whole.
Oh, I didn't notice
yeah,
that part.
no,
Interesting.
no. It cuts to
It
the
cuts
actor,
it
and
in
that
a
was
funny way,
that was
but-
Nathan's rehearsal of telling Core. And because the actor had such a negative reaction, Nathan was too afraid to tell Core in real life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just said, "What did he tell him?" He was like,
You're a good guy.
You're a great guy.
You've got great confidence. I'm so proud of you," or something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to come clean about giving compliments because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't give a lot.
I don't affirm people.
No,
like
I don't
he said.
affirm people enough.
I think that that's just such like a good. I mean, and to me, that is definitely a Nathan acting character, right?
Yes.
Of this character of this guy. But kind of something about that, and in general, is obviously I think over the course of the series, I haven't seen all of it, but what I know is that it shows more of Nathan and Nathan's kind of vulnerabilities and stuff. But
Yeah.
he fakes vulnerability in this. You talked about the thing in the pool where he like convinces him to talk about his
Yeah.
marriage, and then
He
has
has the
like
guy.
Plans.
and then also like the skate shooting where he like acts like they both suck, you know.
Very manipulative and scary.
It's incredibly
So
manipulative, right?
manipulative.
But it's like hiding behind this like veneer of like, oh, I'm just like
It makes
worried
you
about
wonder
this.
about
I'm
the Nathan character, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm only doing this to help Core, but yeah, I mean, that is like the thing. That's why I say it's like so much more demented than Nathan for you. Like,
Yeah.
there's this weird master plan, and maybe
it's also funny because like there's this deception, right, that he's avoiding, you know, coming clean about. But then the whole like staging process and the effort you put into making sure it's perfect.
Yeah,
And then I don't know.
It's-
that feels like even worse.
it's fucking creepy. It's
Yeah.
very creepy.
Yeah. Have any of you seen the movie Synecdoche, New York?
Yeah,
No.
I have
Wait,
actually.
the Charlie Kaufman?
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Is
Philip,
it not? It's not
Philip
Cynic
Seymour
Note?
Hoffman.
Well, Charlie Kaufman
Right.
wrote and directed it. Philip Seymour Hoffman stars in it.
yeah,
Wait, hold on. It's,
Synecdoche.
yeah, it's not Synecdoche. It's
I
how do you
think
say
so.
it?
I think it's Synecdoche.
Maybe it's Synecdoche. I've always thought it was Synecdoche. I
That
think
sounds way more correct than Synecdoche for sure.
I think it's Synecdoche.
Synecdoche.
yeah,
It's spelled Synecdoche.
yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's Synecdoche because it's a play on there's a town called like Synecdoche or something like that. But Synecdoche means like a thing that contains itself, like it's a representation of the whole of itself, which is all about this movie. So brief overview is that.
Whoa.
Nice.
So
I've only ever heard people say it wrong.
wow, you need new friends or
try
reviewers.
Alexa.
More linguistic.
It would be all of you.
Oh, okay. I've
So
only
far,
ever,
anyone.
I've only
Anyway.
ever heard one person say
Yeah,
that.
one person.
But no, Synecdoche, New York, it's about this like playwright who gets this crazy government grant so he can make whatever he wants. So what he does is he gets this giant warehouse and he basically builds a city inside that warehouse where all these different like lives are going on. And the idea is that like an audience would go through it and there'd be like these people that are basically like these actors that are portraying whole lives, whether they're being seen by an audience or not. And there's, you know, it's a huge city basically. And then in typical Charlie Kaufman fashion, inside of that city, there's also a synecdoche of the playwright, who is played by a different actor who like plays him, and so he copies him, and then that actor then like gets a warehouse inside of this city, and then creates another like city within that one, and it like keeps going down. And it's about like
Really
death,
crazy
and
movie.
it's bonkers. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. But it reminded me of this, right? Because it's this kind of trying to take life and trying to fabricate engineer it exactly.
Yeah.
Represent it in a false way so that you can like do things the right way or whatever.
It's kind of a really depressing movie.
It's very.
It sounds like so. Yeah.
Yeah, it deals with like death and like with like family and falling apart and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think something that's interesting about this is like it really is like pushing the boundaries of comedy, right? It like this isn't written comedy. This isn't he sat there and wrote it and then went and put that into play. This is very much like they were recording and found some funny things, and then through editing and through writing scripts afterwards to make the clips match up, they made it really, really funny. But like that's so like experimental, just considered compared to like stand-up comedy. That's like
Are you talking about The Rehearsal?
yeah, The Rehearsal.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's still the initial idea at first. Which
Right.
What makes that so much more impressive is the fact that they fit that all into the idea. Right? It wasn't just experimental. It
I
was
wanna
like,
know
this
what
is
their
kind of the
budget
idea. Right?
I'm
Like,
desperate to
how the fuck
know.
did they fit that in? How did
They pulled it off.
It's insane that they pulled it off.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, yeah, the more I think about it, it's
The
wild.
orchestration that must have taken place to get everything to just like
Yeah.
just so smoothly happen. It's insane.
It is.
They
It's
rehearsed
wild.
it.
They certainly
They
did.
rehearsed it.
Oh shit.
Every single variable.
Alex,
Any
looking
guesses as to what the budget is
Yeah,
for
what
The
are you on,
Rehearsal?
Pirate Bay right now?
This is on Reddit. 1 million is cheap. I heard. No,
The person,
never mind.
the person
heard
that asked that
2
question
million
said,
is
"My guess
close."
is 1 million." Delusional.
Yeah, crazy.
His
Yeah.
quote should have been.
That, I mean,
2
that
mil.
being said, right? Like, you don't have to. I mean, you have to hire like the certain actors, but like you're really building sets primarily.
You're building
and you're
the inside of a bar.
and you're
and the
And,
outside.
and they were filming at location in New York City, so
they have to
Yeah.
be in New York.
Well, I mean, yeah. Think about how many big. I mean, they had to build a whole bar, which that probably cost like $600,000.
Yeah.
And-
but
and-
like $400,000 to pay Nathan and then a bunch of non-famous actors.
And let me tell you, that's not the only thing they build in this series.
yeah.
It's-
but like maybe
Oh,
per
boy.
episode. yeah.
and also he keeps that warehouse
okay.
for some strange reason.
Hmm,
He just doesn't know what to do with it, and he revisits it in
he
the
just
series
has a warehouse for whatever.
for the bar.
yeah, okay, back for the
He was having a good time at the bar, the rehearsal
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be sad to take that thing down. Yeah.
Be sad to get rid of the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if you like built all the buildings inside the warehouse and then took the warehouse down?
oh, then you just have
Yeah.
What if the warehouse was built to be a warehouse for building things inside of?
Inception shit.
I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
We're onto
Twilight
something
Zone.
here.
I think that one of the things that this show does play into is just the human desire to have conversations go well.
Yeah,
And have interactions go well, and the fear and the anxiety of that, and the wish that you could make sure that this stuff and you could plan for all the interactions and you could respond appropriately. And I think that the overarching thing of that is you can't, right? And you really just have to go through each
Be
experience and yeah.
And honestly, for the most part, it goes better than I'm worried it will
Yeah.
go. You know?
almost always.
Pretty
Yeah.
much every time.
What is it,
Yeah.
like the coward dies 1,000 deaths or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nathan is a coward.
Yeah,
I'd also say-
like Newt Scamander from the Fantastic Beasts movie. Sorry, it's a J.K. Rowling involved thing.
Whoa.
He says, worrying means you suffer twice.
Damn.
Yeah.
So true.
Damn, J.K. Rowling. Wish you worried a little bit more about.
Yeah, back off. Banana bread.
Actually, I wish you didn't worry at all about anything.
Wish wish you worried about other things more than you worry about trans
I wish you
people.
just not worry at all.
Yeah, just
showing
stop
how you
worrying.
worry. Just don't.
I think Nathan Fielder fulfills something deep within each of us to just hang out with a weird little guy sometimes. You know?
So
He really is just a weird little guy, and
He's one of the weirdest.
yeah.
But let's be honest. It's not just white women who want to hang out with Nathan Fielder.
I'd like to hang out with
I'd
Nathan
hang out with
Fielder.
Nathan
Yeah.
Fielder.
Although I feel like I'd end up on the show in a,
Are you
in a bad
sexualizing
light.
him?
I am kind of scared
Yes.
of him in a way. Yeah.
Nathan Fielder ended up on Good Show.
Yo. I think if we did that,
He's on the list,
He actually
but
used
he's
to.
a few notches down behind Charlie Day.
Yeah, hey, Nathan, if you want to be on the podcast or on the
he-
show, let us know.
Yeah.
Nathan used to have a pretty active YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, he did. And he
Yeah.
does like the
Really?
dance thing.
Really?
He does a lot
big
of
video.
weird shit on there.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like if we did have Nathan Fielder on Good Show, I would want him to play completely against type. I think that would be way better.
He comes with a leather
That would be
jacket.
really
Yeah.
fun.
Sup, jabronis?
It's just
He could be a
Nathan
cop.
Fielder somehow,
He could be a cop.
A
Yeah.
cop would be great.
A-Nab. All Nathans are bastards.
Hey, Nav. That's so stupid. Come on.
Hey, well, any other thoughts regarding this show?
It's awesome.
Yeah, y'all should watch it. if you
Yeah, I
haven't
want
seen
to.
Watch it.
Yeah, we
I
should.
want to watch the rest
Yeah,
of it.
finish it up, guys.
We will.
How many episodes are there?
I think there's 6 or something.
In this season, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all.
not
So-
bad.
As far as names for this podcast, I'm thinking Sandstorm by Darude would be a good
That's
one.
pretty good. I was thinking Big Mr. Sunshine is pretty good.
Big Mr. Sunshine.
Mr.
or
Sunshine.
or Gwubbinsmash.
Gwubbinsmash.
Big Mr. Grubbin-Smash.
Oh, man. By Darude.
By Darude.
Yeah.
What was the single word we had turned that into? Gwubbinsmash.
Gwubbinsmash.
No, it was something else. Fuck.
With a soft J.
Luckily, we
Gubbin
recorded
smash.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to that and we're gonna find out what it
We're
is.
going to listen to that 100 times.
But if it's Gwubbinsmash, Big Mr. Gwubbinsmash by Darude is pretty good.
That's pretty
By
good.
Darude doot doot doot.
Yeah, don't do that. We're
Yeah,
gonna get
we're gonna get
Isn't it
copyrighted.
royalty free?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
public
We
domain
killed
now.
Crazy Frog years ago. It's royalty free now.
You're next, Darude.
Well, check us out. Go ahead and give us a follow on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok. We're Bumpy Soup or Bumpy Soups on all those. We're also on Patreon. We're also on IndieFlix.
Yeah.
We also are right here on YouTube.
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Ryder, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ryder.
thanks
This
for
is
inviting
great.
me.
Yeah.
been
Any
fun.
final thoughts?
Follow me on
Yeah.
Instagram or TikTok or Twitter.
What's your handle?
Ryder Boren at Ryder Boren.
Can you spell that?
RYDERBOREN.
You heard it here.
Give me that follow.
That's what you heard here.
But disclaimer, I do post plants too.
Oh, wow.
Plants
Only
and
on my
art.
stories.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
You guys see some plants, go ahead and give Ryder a follow. And thank you so much for joining us. Also, thanks for Morgan for joining us, of
Yes,
course.
thank you, Morgan.
Morgan's been here
Come
before.
on, dog.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching.